Okay, well, there it is. Hey, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday nights, Bathrobe Moments After Dark. That's the Bella Purpose carried over from the morning show. I'm your host, Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm just too excited, and I just can't hide it. I know. Pointer Sisters, 1984, going back down that road. How are you? I love Bathrobe Moments After Dark because I get to trade in the warm, fuzzy robe for my silky berry white stuff. And also I trade in Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo and that coffee for this adult stuff. You heard me. I'm so excited to be back with you guys tonight. How are you? How's your week? Halfway through, right? Halfway through. And it was a short week. It's a short week, but it feels long. You know what I mean? Monday, a holiday. One of the weirdest days of the year for me, anyway, because it was our first major holiday under this pandemic. Mother's Day, of course, was here, but, typically this past weekend is when the boats go on the water. We head to the lake houses, the summer places, running around, and a lot of gatherings with a lot of people. And because of the obvious, not so much this year. But here we are, and that's what matters. Tonight, I've got a great guest for you, as always on Wednesday nights. John Ozuna. You may... You know how you see people go, you know what? I know that guy. That happens to us all the time. Brian and I, when we were watching Netflix, and we're like, isn't that girl from, And, there's these people you see all the time. Well, John has one of those faces, and he's been in so many things. But after this summer, after this next year, and the string of feature films that he's going to be telling us about tonight, I'm sure that you will no longer go, who is that guy again? What's his name? Or as my birth mother from Pine Bluff, Arkansas would say, who he is? She would really say that. What he name is? How do you like, Mom, really? But those are the Ozarks. Oh, Narinder Pun from Singapore. Girl, what time is it there? Good to see you. Welcome, Michael Toy. Michael's the person who put our guest tonight, John Ozuna, and myself together. So hats off to you. I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us. And right now, hit your little buttons, whatever they are, on whatever device you're on, and invite as many people as you can. We all need to be a part of something bigger than ourselves, whether we realize it or admit it. And so here's a chance. Just start a watch party. Hit the share button. Or just invite a couple friends to come and get some of what you're about to get. Trust me, they'll thank you later. We are streaming live tonight across Facebook, YouTube, Roku, Android, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and of course, from our home base, E360 Television Live out in Phoenix, Arizona. And hats off to tonight's sponsor, which is my sponsor day and night, morning and evenings for, let me see, I think, yeah, that's right, they re-up, they're going to be here in June, so guess who it is? Of course, Symposium. Symposium.us, where you can turn your cell phone into a payphone. You can turn your conversation into currency. All you have to do is head over to the Google App Store or Google Store, Google Play, and download the app, Symposium.us, where you can do anything that you're good at and get paid for it. These are trying times. A lot of uncertainty in the air, and if you are looking for a way to add an additional stream of income, and I know you are, head over, Symposium.us. You can turn your cell phone into a cha-ching payphone. So, John, I'm going to show you guys something because I can show you better than I can tell you. I remember when I originally met John, it was in a dark alley out behind Penny Feathers down off La Cienega. He had a jacket on that I just couldn't pass up, and I stepped to him and I was like, look, dude, you're going to have to come out that jacket. And you'll see me in one of the scenes here. What happened? Oh, hold on. Oh, my goodness. Lord help me. And I've only had 2 sips of wine. Hey. Okay. All right. All right. Y'all saw that, right? Okay. Let's get him in here, John. Hey, how are you?
Hey, I am doing great. I'm so happy to be here. That's quite an intro, Lauren. Wow.
Well, hey, it's the real deal. Now, I saw in that sizzle reel there, you were good with all those kicks and stuff, but you know, how would you handle? Because that's how I fight. That's how I fight. I bet you can't do anything with that,
You
can
know
you?
what? I haven't been trained properly for that, so I'll tell you right now,
In cat fighting?
I won't do well. I won't do well.
Good. Look, I'm telling you what, you make it look so easy. And I tell you, you're the kind of guy everybody wants to have on their side
Wow.
when they're walking down those dark alleys and that sort of thing. But how much of that have you ever really had to fight?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a tough part of town. I grew up in the east side of San Jose, which is, here in this area, is known to be notorious for gangs and rough neighborhoods, and
Yeah.
it's almost kind of a way of progressing, to different ages of your life, as far as how well you can fight or how fast you can run,
Yeah.
and I made sure I focused on both. But it's unusual, through the years. Um, you always use martial arts no matter what. So I use it every single day of my life, in every situation, every scenario. There's always martial arts interjecting into what I do.
Yeah.
Uh, as far as how it might have saved my life, it has saved my life in situations where I've been attacked. I have been shot at close range.
With real bullets?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This was the real deal. This was the real
Ooh.
thing. So whenever I share my information in terms of self-defense, it's not just theory, it's not just philosophy, it's not just individual techniques. It's
Mm-hmm.
from experience, and it's something that I would never ever want anybody to be placed into those experiences.
Right.
And that's my passion. My passion is to share the information, to give people the tools that they need so that they can be the best versions of themselves.
Absolutely.
And if they're ever approached in an aggressive way, that they can handle that situation, by all means, by de-escalating. You want to de-escalate a situation and move away from it. But if you just cannot do those things, then you've got the tools
You
to.
got to do something right.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I carry, a gallon of Clorox, in my car in case I got to, dash somebody. I'm not very. They used to have to make me fight when I was a little kid. You're like,
Oh, wow.
sissy. You know what I mean? And I just, but then I got to that point in my life where, I found out I had a little something.
Yo.
And I only had to do it once. I learned that too.
Mhm.
You go, if you have to fight good, one good time, and you're done. But
Exactly.
I want to ask you, what we saw on the screen there, how many years of training have you got under your
Wow.
black belt?
I've been training most of my life, and we're heading towards this year marks my 39th year. Next year will be my 40th year in martial arts.
Wow.
So I'm heading towards 40 years of training in martial arts, and you never stop learning. It's one of those things you never reach any sort of pinnacle of any sort.
Mhm.
You always strive to be better than the day before, and in the month before, and the year before. And you always are learning the subject. It's an infinite amount of information, and it's an endless journey.
So you were a master. You were teaching. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? The chicken being the teaching of the arts, or the acting. Which did you do? Which, you know what I'm saying? Well, you obviously had to learn how to do the stuff first,
Yeah,
and then
yeah, you're right. It has really helped in allowing me to break into the industry. Um, I was able to reach high levels of competition, and that's a lot of full contact fighting. So I have competed all over the nation. I've competed in Europe, and I've competed in Asia at the highest levels of competition. I represent the USA team at the European Cup in 1992, and in Taiwan, Taipei for the World Championships also in '92. So you're putting yourself against the best in the world, truly the best in the world. And after a while, you gain a recognition for what you're doing, and you may be produced by or approached by somebody who is producing a film, and they're saying, what you're doing, whatever you're doing out there,
use.
I want to see it in my film. Can you do it for us? And so it sparked it from that point on, and it started small, just small little bit parts, fight choreography, interviews and TV shows, and it just grew. And I've had the great privilege and honor to share my art, my particular art of martial arts, which is, and I have to mention this, I would never be able to do any of what I do without my teacher, and my teacher is Senior Grandmaster Richard Lee of East West Kung Fu Schools, and he is the person that has given me the tools I've needed to attack anything, to really attack anything, and to make me really the person that I am, and always a student of the arts.
Well, hats off to Grandmaster. I want to know, John. There's so much to cover here. We've got so much to cover. I mean it. I've got some pictures and everything, but I want to. Why don't you tell people where you're at in the world, what you're working on? I know you just finished wrapping something with Keanu Reeves not too long ago, and then you have a bunch of stuff coming up. Talk about that.
You know what? I've had the great privilege just this past several months before the COVID-19 really hit us, and
the what?
COVID-19, so the coronavirus.
I don't know. Sorry. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if we could actually go? Oh, what's that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyway, go ahead.
It's we had the great privilege of working side by side with big stars like Keanu Reeves, Tom Hardy, on Venom, Woody Harrelson, and that's just to name a few. And I can't say much more than that.
You just got stuff coming up. You got a lot of stuff.
I got stuff coming up.
Well, I know what you can talk about.
Yes.
You have a show on Netflix. You're in a show that's on Netflix, right? Netflix.
Yes. You know what? I'm very, very proud to be part of this series. It's called 13 Reasons Why. It's become a very popular series on Netflix. This season will be the final season. It's a series that deals with the topics of suicide and how all the survivors, and we're talking families and family members and friends and teachers, and everybody associated, connected to that individual on that topic of suicide, and just how it affects everybody. And it's a very, very deeply emotional series, and I've had just the great privilege of working on that show. And you've
been on there. You've been on there how many seasons?
4 seasons now. So it's been 4 seasons, and I've been on that 4 seasons. And this last season, you'll definitely see me. There's a boxing sequence. Again, I can't say too much, but there's a boxing. Right.
No spoilers.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but who's your character? Who's your character on the show?
I'm a coach. I'm a coach.
Your coach. Okay. So what can you tell us out of all the work that you've done? Because I know we're not going to try to talk about the stuff that you're working on, because we don't want you getting beat up by some people like Jean-Claude and I wonder, had you ever look at people like Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude and go kind of like, but I could take him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well, and I got a lot of questions about that. But out of all the work you've done leading up to right now, what's been your favorite a piece of work and that's meant the most to you? And what was it about it?
You know what? It's it's kind of hard to say because every single project has its specialness to it, and
Mm,
um, you know, I can't really say one is above all, greater than the other, because they all offered so much,
sure.
uh, behind it. And but I can say this much: the one project that I truly, truly am very, very excited about, and I feel it's my um, biggest acting challenge,
Mm,
particularly because of the depth that goes into the character, and the background of the character,
uh-huh.
is the one I'll be currently shooting. And it's called Demon Fighter. It is produced by CRA Entertainment. Craig Aarons is CEO of that. David Espinosa is the writer and director of this film.
I've
Uh,
heard his name.
Along with being an amazing acting coach and an amazing actor himself, we're set to schedule on this one, hopefully next month if everything works out well. By far, this has been the greatest journey in terms of really getting deep, deep into the psyche of a character.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's dark, it's really, really, really dark, and it requires for me to really tap into
Mm-hmm.
a lot of my personal experiences to really bring out life into this character, and
Mm-hmm.
for it to be absolutely genuine. Otherwise, it's just, otherwise I'm just pretending, and I'm not a good pretender. I
Right.
really have to draw from what's real.
We'll talk about one of the things that a lot of people wonder about. I know I do,
Mm.
is because when you we were talking the other day, and you were explaining. I want you to go to this spot when you were telling me about how many times people just looked you dead in the face. They weren't nice. They didn't candy coat it. They didn't say, now I don't mean anything personal. They didn't set it up. Nothing. They just
Yeah.
said no.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, you ain't got the look. You might
Yeah.
want to go. Don't quit your day job. All of those different things. Talk about rejection and how do you deal with it out there in Hollywood, where one minute you're in, the next minute you could be roadkill.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, you really hit on that. It's I think anybody
Hi, honey.
that pursues this career choice, you have to have a thick skin. You really have to be ready for rejections and failures, and being told that you are too short, you're not good looking, that you're a horrible actor, that you're too old, that you're just, I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on of what they hit you with, and they literally just saying that and just walking away. And I guess I've had a lot of different experiences with that, but I guess the one that really, there was one situation where I almost literally quit the business. And I had an agent, and this person was booking me on different commercials and whatnot. But it always had kind of a common theme to it, and the common theme was, it was always kind of just a janitor, window washer, uh, you know, something like,
Blue collar.
blue collar work. And I I've been a janitor. I've been a dishwasher. I've had,
Mm-hmm.
I come from a long, long line of migrant field workers.
Mm-hmm.
So I have great respect for those that break their backs to provide for their families, and they should be very prideful in the work that they do. But I felt that that's all they saw when they saw me. And I was offered a commercial, and she goes, "Hey, John, I got this great opportunity, national commercial. You're gonna love it." And I said, "All right, fantastic, great. What do I have to do? What do I have to be prepared with? Are the lines? No, 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 no. You're gonna be in the
Yeah.
background. You're gonna interact with the lead actor." I said, "Okay, great, fantastic. What should I come prepared for?" And I could tell that there was hesitation in the voice. And bottom line, it kind of led to this. "Well, it's an orange juice commercial." "All right, excellent, orange juice."
Okay. We
Um,
like orange juice.
um, so she goes,
Oh, I know where this is
"Uh-huh."
going.
She
Go
goes,
on.
"You're going to be in the background on a ladder, One hand is going to be holding an orange. The other one's going to have a sack. You're going to put them in your sack. You can turn towards the camera and smile, and I went, wow, okay. I said, thank you for the opportunity, but I got to ask you, is that all you see that I could ever do? Do you
The
see me?
orange picker, not the orange
Exactly.
drinker.
Yeah, is there anything beyond those ranges? And she didn't know what to say. And I really finally said, thank you, but no thanks. I'm going to pass up on this one. And I had to just really collect myself, and just really, really rethink that. And I was really discouraged because I thought, wow, if that's what I'm seeing
Mm-hmm.
as just that small, and again, not to minimize it, because again, I have great respect. It's part of my family history and it's part of what I've done. But if you say that I could only do this, that leaves out the rest of everything else. And I thought, wow, I guess I'm never going to make it in this industry, because the chances, the roles that are available for just that are minimal to absolutely zero.
Yeah, right. And the thing is, there are so many. I lived out there,
Yeah,
and most of the people I knew then in my 20s, my early 20s till mid 30s, were people who were out there for the same thing. Everybody's chasing the dream.
yeah,
And I saw people make it. One of the kids that hung out with us at Mitzi Shore's place ended up on Friends. I'm not going to say his name, but he did. And I
yeah,
remember the party they threw at the place where we all hung out because he got it. Nobody knew it was going to be Friends, that it was going to be like that.
yeah.
But, when you know those people beforehand, and there's so many pitfalls, the drugs, the fast life, the all the things. And I know I wouldn't have made it past the all of the what do you call that? I can't even say the word. Not you. Rejection. There
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
have
yeah.
eradicated that word from my psyche, and it's hard for me. Now get out of here. Rejection. No, but I'm saying rejection. A lot of people can't deal with rejection in their everyday lives.
Yeah,
Just on a, what do you mean I can't? You don't have any more lemons. You know what I mean, or whatever. Uh, People have a hard time with rejection. How do you deal with it on an everyday basis? And I always wonder about people who throw their kids into the business.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Because it's such an impressionable age. Then, for me, I have been told no. I have been rejected. I've been told absolutely not. We don't want you. Next, um, you know, without rejection, without failure, there are no opportunities to learn.
I knew I
There,
was going to ring it. I knew it.
thank you. I appreciate it.
I can feel it coming. I can
I was
feel it
hoping
coming.
for the ring. I was hoping for the
Yes,
ring.
absolutely right.
There are no
Absolutely right.
opportunities to learn. You have got, in order to be successful in life, you have to fall, you have to fail, you have to trip, you have to absolutely reach at a point of an exposure of weakness and vulnerability. And then at that moment, you could look at yourself with clear eyes as to what needs to be done to create balance.
Right.
In others, elevate the weaknesses, because we all have them, so that they can stay in harmony and balance with your strengths.
True.
I think as human beings, what we do as human beings, we always lean towards what we do well. We tend to shy away from things that we don't do very well.
Right.
So we'll say, hey, I do this great, I do that great. Okay, but we will say, we will not expose the things that we our shortcomings and whatnot.
That's true.
And it takes many scenarios and situations and events in your life to realize that, hey, buddy, hey, wake up, this is your chance to be a better you. This is
Right.
your chance to be a better you. See it that way. And it's perspective. It's truly perspective. I can waste my energy and time and just say how devastating, poor me, and rally, a group of people to show empathy. But that's not going to help matters. That's
Right.
that may be a band-aid of anything. But if I truly want to grow, I've got to really look at myself straight in the eye and say, you know,
Yeah,
it's time.
yeah, sure, John. That's easy to say now. Now that you just finished wrapping Matrix 4 and you got a string of feature films in front of you. But let's go back to how many frogs did you have to kiss before you kissed the princess or prince? You know what I'm saying? How many
Yeah,
no's did it take to get to that first yes? And you know, I mean, because and before you even answer,
yeah.
I did some digging and I did find a picture of the very first time you were told no in a room, and it kind of ended up looking like that. So I can see why they stopped saying no. Uh huh. Right. You want to explain that one? So just
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes when people tell me no. Now, I say, I've got this skill set. I've got all this subject that I've invested so much time with, and you might as well use that at that point in time. You
right.
know, it's it's hard to hear it because and I mean when I say we, I mean everybody that allows themselves to pursue this industry. We put ourselves out there so much
Mhm.
and allow ourselves to be scrutinized.
Mhm.
All the things that in terms of human behavior you always don't want because things in terms of fear.
Mhm.
The fear of public speaking, the fear of I think that people's biggest fears, quite honestly, is the fear of ridicule and embarrassment.
Mhm.
I mean, you might fall down, and smash your face in the sidewalk, but the first thing that'll occur to you is, did anybody see me do it? You get embarrassed by that, and so it's just pushing those feelings aside and allowing yourself to go through the process. But when I've been told absolutely not, no, this is what I've done. Whether it be dialogue or whether it be something I've done physically, I'll redo it. I'm not doing it for them anymore. I'll
Physically?
actually, I'll actually go. I'll go back.
Okay. Physically, we get it. Go ahead.
I'll go back and I'll redo it until And at first, I'll ask them, okay, what can I work on? And you might get some people that'll say, you know what, you might need to work on your pitch and you slow your speech down and da 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 da. But others just say, hey, just no, we okay, we gave you the chance and that's it.
That's a great point. You know what? I tell people that work with me, that are coaching with me, or just in dialogue, because they'll say, like, because I've been really blessed with the amount of speaking gigs I've gotten over the
Yeah.
past 4 years since I've been doing this. And I tell people all the time, one of the things that I attribute those successes to is not always asking the people that when I didn't get it, what I could do better, which I did, but also when I got those gigs, I would
Mm-hmm.
ask, what were the top mistakes of the people that I beat out for this? What were some of the things that put them underneath where I was? Because the reason was I didn't want to believe that just because I had made it through this time that I didn't have a seedling or
Exactly.
of what stopped them. I want to get in there and stop it from germinating as quickly as possible. So I'd go back in and find out and make sure, do I have anything in here that could grow into what stopped these other people from success? And having said that, I want to ask him, you throw three words out there, and I want you to tell me how similar or different they are in your journey inside of what you're doing. It may have been different when you first started. It may have been different after you started seeing some success. It may be different to where you want to take it before you're at the end of the road. But if I say to you successful, famous, celebrity, which one of those words is the thing that you reach for first?
Oh, I mean, by far successful. I mean, because successful means that you put the time in. Successful means that you have actually gone through a process where you've allowed yourself um, the opportunity to learn from the experience, to work on the tools, to put them into a practical application, to perform them again, whether it be again dialogue or whether it be martial arts performance or whatever else, to a point where you you fall again, to reinvent it again, and to finally get to reach a point where they say, okay, good, all right, that's what I'm talking about. When a director says, okay, good, let's move on. Oh my goodness,
Great
that is
feeling.
the best feeling in the world, to know that you got it. Okay, let's move on to the next scene. Let's move on to the next dialogue. Let's move on.
Mhm.
That means they were happy with it, and I was going, and it's one of those feelings where it's a sense of success and fulfillment. The other stuff is just, my goodness. If anybody pursues this for being a celebrity and
Yeah.
or to be famous, wow,
Right.
you're not going to make it. Let me
Mm.
tell you, you're not going to make it. Just very simply because you're not willing to put the time in that it takes to just be better at this craft. You're so focused on that golden egg at the very end of this process, that you're not seeing anything that's happening in between. And and for those that that I truly feel that there are people out there that I've met that are phenomenal, and they don't nearly receive the recognition that they
That they
should.
deserve.
And I
Mhm.
have learned every time I'm on set, I am blessed to be with people of such amazing quality that
Mhm.
I've got my notebook out, and I'm doing a scene with them, and I'm taking notes on how they're doing their scene, how delivering their lines, and how they're moving. I'm going, okay, I got to do that. I've got to use that.
Do you ever see somebody? I've always wanted to ask this question. Do you? Because I'm a musician, and I used to be a session singer, and I'd be in with people who later went on to get great deals, like Saida
Mm,
Garrett, and worked with Michael Jackson. And all that. And back when we were first starting, you could just see something, and you'd go,
yeah.
"Ooh, they've
Mm,
got that
mm,
thing. They got it."
mm.
Do you ever see that? And talk about that if you could, about just that natural God-given gift that people just make their craft look so easy.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you said it. It's just one of those things that it's just so inherent in that person, that
Mhm.
um, they exude a specialness about them. They exude charisma. They exude uh, that one element. No matter how hard we work, no matter how much we put into it, we may never achieve, because they have that it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody talks about the it, and you hear these discussions, and I'll hear it, and they'll say, and not referring to me, but other people will say, you've got the it, and you see that person just glow,
Right.
because they know that they've arrived, and it's just something that you can't teach somebody. It's not tangible. You can't grasp it. You can't. You really can't. It's hard to put into words, simply because it's
Mhm.
something that's so deeply within an individual's specialness, and they allow it to just burst out and just be a part of the aura of who they
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had other friends who work in your industry tell me that they've been on set and a scene goes and all of a sudden you just can feel everybody's
mhm,
just riveted,
yeah,
stuck. And I had one person tell me, they said, Lauren, have you ever been in a movie, and Forrest Gump did this to me, where there's always those people that sit there and
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
over. They're listening to the song and watching all the credits, and I'm out in the parking lot. What are they sitting in there watching the credits? All the way to that thing that says
exactly,
MXLLC. Right. And,
exactly.
and you're like, what are they doing? But they say that they've been on set where they've seen a scene go down, and
Yeah.
for like what felt like a minute or two, everybody was stuck because of what they just witnessed.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen something like that
Oh
happen?
yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. When everything just kind of aligns, and everything just works just right, where everybody is kind of in awe. So you've got the DPs, you got directors of photography behind the cameras. You have the boom guys. You got the lighting
Uh-huh.
guys. You
Hmm.
got the script reader, assistants and whatnot. You got the PAs, and they're all there. And all of a sudden, you see somebody doing that scene, and all you see is this from everybody. They all have
Great
that
work.
same
Yeah.
expression of,
Yeah.
like, did I just witness what I witnessed?
Right.
you know,
Mm,
and they're in awe, you know, and it's, again,
mm.
no matter how much you dedicate to getting a certain craft down, you may never ever experience that. I mean,
Again, right, right.
they're the Michael Jacksons of the world. You know, they're the Princes of the world. They're the Elvis Presleys of the world. They've got the it, that specialness
It's
you can't
just,
explain.
it's just that, right.
It's
And that's
just
it.
there.
It's the question mark that is something greater than us, that
Yeah,
represents what we believe to be greater than us. Absolutely. I did it. Ring the bell on that. Let me ask you, um, uh, you do a lot of action
yeah,
work, and that's very expensive because if they're going to blow up something and all the different things, it's all moving at such lightning speed.
yeah.
What's that pressure like when it's on you to execute? And how many? What's the record for you that they said nope, let's do it again? Nope, let's do it again. And because I mean, it looks easy when you get it, but you're really having to do the core. It's choreography. You're not
Yeah,
freestyling.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
have
yeah.
to, everybody's moving in and out and hitting their marks. How much pressure is that on you, being the guy in the middle that's got to make something like this look real?
I love that picture.
I do too.
So, you know, I mean, there's what you're saying is pressure. I see it as a responsibility. So obviously there's pressure, but a responsibility to 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 be there and to give it your absolute best. So a lot of times what happens in those situations is you feel the world kind of gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and you feel that your world is literally what's happening at that moment in time, and that is all that matters. So when you can get to the point of that level of focus, I guess, and that level of kind of harmony with all the other stunt players, it's just like music. When you're playing live and you're out there and you're playing live and you're doing it in front of for people,
Mm,
you just
you're feeding
feel
off. Right.
amazing. You feel
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you know, again, I've been in many different situations, but probably the most challenging by far are just the elements. You know, where, you know, I played a character that suited up like kind of like a superhero. Um,
Mhm.
there's a movie I just finished called Cabal, where my character wears a complete helmet and suit and the whole thing. It looks like a superhero. But I'm I'm filming in Redding, Shasta County area in summer. It's 110 degrees. I'm
Ooh.
in this suit. It's I'm sure about 120, 130 degrees inside the suit.
Oh yeah, clear. Good.
You know, we're probably in a steel mill where inside there is about 120, 125 degrees. You know, and you do, again, you do it again and again and again and again and again until you get it right. Um, I think the record for the amount of takes I've done in let's say in a sequence of action moves was 25 takes.
25 takes.
25 takes. 25 takes in 110-degree heat.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, going over and over and over. Yeah, it is. It is. And people were just dropping off. You know, people were getting sick, and there was heat exhaustion, heat strokes, and I mean, it was rough. It was really really rough. Not for Kabbalah. This was a whole different sort of film. But yeah, I mean,
Just
it
the work.
was.
It's right,
Yeah.
right. So, do you have a dream director that you'd like to work with one day? Is there somebody you go like, you know
Wow.
what?
You know what? It's not really. But I
Really?
am.
I'm not even an actor, and I have one.
Do you? Do you?
Yeah,
Who?
Ron Howard.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. You know what?
Because I just, how can you not anything he touches? So I'm like, I'll play dead person number three.
I mean, there's the greats, the Martin Scorsese, you know, the Spielberg, you know, and yeah, absolutely, you know, Ron Howard. They do things to say that you're in a Ron Howard film or a Scorsese film, or, you know, a Spielberg film. Those, you know, I mean, it's that is. I mean, obviously, you know, they are who they are because they produce what they produced.
Right.
But the people that I've got that I have the privilege of working with now, the David Espinosas of the world, the Max, Sochis of the world, the people like them. Wow, they're just they are known for the work that they do. Maybe not at the level at this moment in time, as the Ron Howards of the world and whatnot. But boy, the passion, their artistry, their vision, it's no different. It's all the same. It's they're amazing, and how they and their leaders and how they work with people is phenomenal. They know how to
Bring the best out. I hear.
bring the best out in order to put the best into the scene. They know how to do it,
That's why people want to work with them.
and they are phenomenal. So yeah.
Well, listen, we're going to take a short break, really
Sure.
short. And when we come back, everyone, we're going to go down through a list of different things. I've got some photos that I want John to explain what was going on at the time in his life and in his career. And so stay put. Call a friend real quick. Call a friend and get them in here. Still some time to enjoy the rest of the show. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back, John, with John Ozuna, and that is not an Asian name. That is a Spanish name. Now, let's talk about, you would think that I would think looking at you, you could play Italian, you could play Arabic, you could play Spanish, you could play a plethora of different things. But tell us how that works do you ever hear that you're too this or you're not enough that? Or
Yeah. In a lot of ways, they I guess in some ways it might work to my advantage because I can be casted in many different ethnic roles.
Mm-hmm.
I strange story. About 2 years back, I was hired by a Japanese television, and they were casting me for a role between two people, and it was a Japanese cast, and it was between myself and this other gentleman. And I thought, no way. I mean, just
right. He's really Japanese.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though my name sounds Japanese, if it's pronounced Ozuna, in Spanish it's Osuna. But I beat him out. So they casted me. I was going, wow.
Well, can you imagine what he went home saying?
Exactly.
What the hell? Right.
But I've been, as far as anything from, part Asian to like you said, Middle Eastern, Arabic, Italian. When I've traveled to Europe, they think I'm French. So immediately they speak to me in French. So, it's the sky's the limit.
And, I'm always people are always, when I travel abroad, confusing me as they think I'm Russian.
Oh, wow.
Because of the drink, Black Russian. I'm kidding. See, I almost had you. Listen, I'm going to throw some stuff up on the screen. Tell us about what it was like, when it was, and what about this here?
Wow, you know what? This is a great project. This is the Infinity Project, which is something we did about a couple years ago. It's written and directed by Michael Fredinelli. Fredinelli. Uh,
Okay.
Pardon me, Michael. But you know, and my co-star is Jeannie Young, and this was phenomenal. This was a complete package because this was my first lead role for a feature film. And it really had everything in it that you can think of in terms of it had the action, it had the drama. Definitely it challenged my acting ability as well as my physical stunt work and fight choreography and martial arts ability.
I mean, I'm ringing the bell in succession simply because of the picture on the left with the water, the rain. We can't get into a guy in a suit with rain coming down doing a John Travolta move, completely wet from head to toe. I mean, really? I mean, come on now. I'm not even in the business, and I would have known that was a winner. So, okay, what about this? What
Wow.
was this from?
Wow. So,
Who's that guy? He kind of looks familiar.
yeah. Well, that one, again, there's not a lot I can say. It's on the set of Matrix 4.
It's not even out yet.
No, it's not even out yet. Yeah, they're still in production. So that's on the set.
Is that really him, or is that a stunt double?
No, that's the big man himself.
Okay.
So
if you look all cool and stuff, like I don't know who's next.
Yeah, right there. It's funny because we were setting up for a scene. Keanu Reeves was right next to me, and or I should say, I was next to Keanu Reeves. Okay. And they were setting us up for the scene. It was kind of out in the open in San Francisco, and again, it's just one of those things where also you have to remain professional. You really
can't be starstruck.
You can't talk to the star of the movie. So you're just in character. If he happens, we did have a conversation. If he happens to chit chat, then you chit chat. But other than that was great because
as soft spoken as he sounds like he is.
Let me tell you, that he is grounded. He is a grounded individual. He is a superstar that has great opportunities of just amazing film work and just stardom.
He gives a lot back to the world that he never takes credit for.
He does. And for a person like him with his level of recognition and his level of stardom, to still have his feet firmly planted in the ground and still, between takes, I remember, it would just happen to be at a time where kids were coming out of school and they were, the area was blocked off and the kids were on the opposite side of the street and he just waved at them. He waved at them and just acknowledged them. And so, I mean, a great guy.
Great guy.
Super great guy.
Well, back to my favorite picture of the evening. And the reason I'm back to this is because this reminds me of Scarface so much.
Yeah.
Say hello to my little friend kind of thing. Here's my question for this that I haven't asked. What is the greatest body count in any scene that you've ever shot where you were the last man standing and everybody was like this? How many bodies?
That's pretty close to it right there. That is
right, really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not bad. Not bad. I did beat up 16 cheerleaders once in high school, but that's another show. So I'm not going to go there. So tell us about this. We're going to see some shades of you, John Okunu, that people might not even know exist. So I want to introduce this part to the audience. Here you are, obviously, keynote speaking. Where is this and what's your topic? What are you doing here?
This what I will do often is I enter into the corporate world. And we've had the great opportunity to work with great corporations like Adobe and whatnot, and they'll bring me on for one of two things. This in particular was personal protection for corporate employees.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So and it's wonderful because it really shows that the company cares about their employees. Mm-hmm. They see them as family. And they brought me on numerous occasions to talk about the importance of being aware of your environment, even if you're in the workforce and also in the workplace. That
is so interesting. I just want to say, my photographer just showed up, and I swear I was like, too bad Scott Gaines not here when you were talking about this thing about the employee safety thing, because he's a securities expert. And he was telling me that a lot of the corporate work he gets called to do is because they're just like this, just what you said.
Exactly.
Adobe was doing to keep their people safe. Wow. Hey, Scott Gain, welcome to the show. And Shelly Gain, sorry, Shelly Gale. No, I didn't marry you to another woman, Scott. Now, let's take I love both of these pictures that are coming up. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do my favorite one first. This is my favorite one. I'm going to do it first.
Wow.
I just love that. Where is that?
Wow.
And is it cold?
My goodness, that is in Argentina.
Jeez.
Wow. So I've had my school. My school's called KO Kung Fu School, and we've had the school. I've had the school for 31 years now, and we compete all over the world. That is my team. Those are members of the USA team that happen to be my students. And
wow.
those are up. That's up in the Andes Mountains.
What a beautiful. Not just the mountains, but their poses.
Yeah.
It's just so artistic. It's so choreographed like a ballet. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, it was just one of those situations where we just traveled up to the Andes Mountains and we thought, wow, that looks gorgeous. Why don't we do what we did? And we took some great pictures.
It's a beautiful picture. It's my favorite. Only followed by this is my second runner-up.
Ha ha.
Now,
okay, so
how old were you?
My goodness. Well, that was back in 1992. So I was very much younger. That was me.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Me too.
Because that was at the National Palace Museum in Taipei, Taiwan. What you don't see there is I'm actually on a ledge that's no wider than my foot.
Oh.
And it's actually 12 feet off the ground. So what you don't see is the drop.
The drop.
And so that was taken after we had competed in the World Championships in 1992 in Taipei, Taiwan.
Wow. Well, I will say, when you look at this picture and when you look at this picture and you wonder how you beat out the Asian guy that time, duh. I'm like, you look just like you belong there. So, wow. So, listen, here, man, I told you this hour was going to fly by.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. We have 4 minutes left.
Oh,
and I know. I didn't even, usually when it's a boring guest, I've drank like 4 of these. I used to keep the jug down underneath here, and I'm like, oh yeah, go on. I'm not kidding. And this time I didn't even finish this glass because it's just been that great of an hour.
Oh, thank you.
So, what can you say to people that aren't looking maybe to find their fortune and fame on the big screen, but they're still seeking that moment that makes them feel complete? This is a wonderful thing. Look at all the pieces of the story that you get to leave that will still be here for people to enjoy and learn and grow from long after we've moved on to the upper room. But there are a lot of people who are like, how do I find that thing? And I want you to go back to that moment when you used to look at people in these very shots, and it felt like or seemed like for you it was so far away, but you got there. You found it, and it found you. It chose you, and you chose in return. What word of encouragement, if this was Jerry Springer and this was your final thought, what would you say?
Wow, in my culture, again, I came from a long line of migrant field workers. Those are the individuals that you see out in the field picking wood. Everything is being harvested at the time. My parents, my grandparents, and so on. So there in the farm workers community, there was a saying, and in Spanish it's "sí se puede."
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede, and that means yes, we can.
And can we now?
And in reality, what it meant was, regardless of how difficult the situation, how tall the mountain, how deep the ocean, how wide the valley, It didn't matter. We can we can get there if we try hard enough. If we continue putting one step
Mhm.
in front of the other,
Amen.
um, we'll get there. And in my culture, it is again, they say si se puede, si se puede, si se puede. Every once in a while, we just need to be reminded, regardless of how heavy our despair might be within ourselves in the